Hello, everybody. Here we are for the photo call for the film La Chimera in Italian, or you'd pronounce it a chimera in English. It's in competition at the 76th Cannes Film Festival, and it's directed by Alice Rohrwacher, who has put her sister in the film. So the sister Alba acts in the film. It's a fascinating film. It's called La Chimera in Italian, or the Chimera in English. It's the story of a group of tomb raiders. They go pillaging tombs, etc., to find Etruscan artifacts. It stars Josh O'Connor, who is on your left there. He's looking for his lost love, and he's going to the other world to try and find his lost love. It's a wonderful film. Of course, as you would expect, the critics are giving it a mixed judgment. Some newspapers here in France say that it's a successful film with real freedom in the form. The Alice Rohrwacher is telling the story about these pillagers, the tomb pillagers. And the Figaro here in France says that it's a bit pretentious. And that same critic goes on to compare this film with the director's previous films, Happy as Lazaro and The Wonders, which were both very well received here in France. And it doesn't cut the mustard, apparently, according to that one single critic. So there's a big cast, and one of the stars is Isabella Rossellini. We'll tell you more about her later. Let's get back to the press review here in France. One newspaper here says that Josh O'Connor is absolutely sublime in this film, which is great. That's good news, because this evening all of the prizes will be announced, and who knows, perhaps Josh O'Connor is in the running for Best Actor. Here you have the entire crew. They're here crewed, the entire crew having their photo taken. We have Vincenzo Nemolato with the jazzy shirt on, Alice Rohrwacher there in the white trouser suit. She is part of the new Italian wave of filmmakers. She's part of the new wave of film. She started in 2011 with her first feature film, Heavenly Body, and has followed up with 3 films. This one, La Chimera, is the 3rd film, following on from The Wonders and Happy as Lazaro. And in this film, she addresses the question of the countryside in Italy and its destiny. The countryside in Italy is changing. Italy is very proud of its beautiful countryside, but isn't really taking care of the countryside. Alice Rohrwacher is trying to change that. There's a touch of Fellini in her film also, with some carnival-type scenes. And a big focus is put on the Etruscan culture in the film, because the pillagers go to archaeological digs and tombs, etc., to steal Etruscan artifacts and sell them on. And so that's the framework for the story. And she uses that framework to talk about other human relationships. We know that the Etruscan period was a period which was great for women, for example. They were much freer than they are in Italy today. They could be landowners. They could pass their family name on to their children. Here we have the 2 sisters, Alice and Alba. Alice, the film director, Alba, the actress. Alba is in the blue suit. She's worked frequently with her sister, but also with other important filmmakers such as Nanni Moretti. She was in Tre Piani. She was in Ismael's Ghost by Desplechin. They of course grew up together, being sisters, and Alice says that she remembers a circus coming to town when they were little. Alba wanted to become an acrobat, and Alice wanted to become a clown. And yes, and there are touches of the circus, of the carnival in her film. It's a colourful film, and there's a large chunk of nature in the film. Alice Rohrwacher enjoys filming nature and includes it in her film. So Alba acted in Happy as Lazaro and The Wonders, both directed by Alice, starring alongside Marion Cotillard in Ismael's Ghost, for example, which was screened in Cannes in 2017. Here we have Alba, who is the director's sister. The film La Chimera is a very beautiful film, and in fact the original premise is that everyone has their own chimera, as we say in English, something they try to achieve but they never actually manage to find. On the screen you have Josh O'Connor. He's the lead role in the film. So a chimera is not only a dream which you can never reach, it's also a kind of mythological character made up of two different animals, or an animal and a human being. Josh O'Connor has made previous films, of course. He was in God's Own Country. He's been in Mothering Sunday, Hope Gap, Only You. There's a whole row of films. And also he's in the series The Crown, playing Prince Charles. So the Figaro here in France is quite harsh with Josh O'Connor, saying that he looks like a down and out, a bit of a bum, but I suppose that might tie in nicely with his character, because he doesn't have a fixed address. He's just trying to survive by pillaging these tombs. And in this film we have a French actress called Lou Le Collinet, and she was in a Desplechin film, which you might have seen recently. Now, will the jury have enjoyed the film? That's what we're all keen to know, and we'll find out this evening, of course, when all the prizes are announced. I mentioned earlier on that there was Lou Le Collinet, who is in the film also, and she was in the film Trois Souvenirs de ma jeunesse, or Three Souvenirs from My Youth by Arnaud Desplechin. Nanni Moretti is in competition this year. As we've already said, Alba has worked with him in the past. This year, Nanni Moretti's film in competition is called A Brighter Tomorrow. Getting back to La Chimera, there really are tomb pillagers in Italy. Groups of people who go out at night and pillage tombs. And this, according to the film director, is one of the great tragedies of the 20th century. She wanted to make this film as bit as an investigation, talking about the market for these illicitly gained artifacts. So she talks about this also in her film. The film is due to be released in France this December, so you have to wait quite a few months. But if you haven't yet seen her film Happy as Lazaro from 2018 or The Wonders from 2014, you could prepare for La Chimera by watching those two films, just to kind of whet your appetite. So let's hope all the very best for Alice Rohrwacher when the prizes are announced this evening. Obviously, we have no information to date about who's won what. So Isabella Rossellini is in this film, the daughter of Ingrid Bergman and Roberto Rossellini. She was in Blue Velvet by David Lynch. She was also in David Lynch. She was also in Sailor and Luna, also by David Lynch, which won the Golden Palm. And I was just telling you about that actress, Lou Roy Le Collinet. There she is on the left. And I'd just like to draw your attention to the Italian actor Vincenzo Nemolato, who acted in the TV series Gomorrah. The two Rohrwacher sisters come from an international family, mum Italian, dad German. Alice studies literature and philosophy. And then she went to Calabria, and in a small village called Riace, she started to work with the migrants, and that was the theme of her first feature film, Heavenly Body. These young Italian directors and actors are supported by two experienced French technicians. We've got Hélène Louvard, who is behind the camera, and Martin Scorsese is really full of praise for her imagery work. And at the sound, we've got a French engineer called Xavier Lavorel. Getting back to Vincenzo Nemolato, who's the guy in the jazzy shirt, he was in Gomorrah. He also acted in a film by the Taviani brothers, Una questione privata. There he is, Vincenzo Nemolato. Alice Rohrwacher said when she was growing up, she heard lots of stories about hidden treasures and architectural digs. You simply had to be in a cafe and you'd always hear about someone, an old man who discovered a tomb when it was working with the tractor, and then another one who found a necklace that was so long that could wrap it all the way around the house. And you'd hear about people who'd made a fortune by selling Etruscan vases, etc. And she realized back then, when she went into the stables and the cellars round about, that there were hidden tombs, hidden sacred spots that still held treasures from the Etruscan period, and that started to fascinate her. So I've already mentioned the Etruscan culture and how well women did in that culture. And that was unique. The Etruscan women could participate in the banquets and in all public events. They were emancipated. They could own land and buildings. They were educated, and they could even pass their family name down to their children, just like the dads could do.
Maybe we wait for Alba.
So it was a pre-Roman civilization dating back to 9 BC, and it reached its pinnacle between the 7th and 6th periods, 6th centuries BC. You're familiar with the protocol. After the photocall, the crew crosses that terrace there, reaches the footbridge, goes up and across the footbridge and into the festival hall, where people will be waiting to have autographs, and then they'll go into their press conference. The critics here in France are giving mixed reviews, as has been the case for all of the films in competition so far. Some think it's great, some think it's less great. It's people are referring to it being very much like a tale, a legend. It's some say that Josh O'Connor is wonderful, some say he's not. So the jury's out, as they say. Now, Isabella Rossellini is in this film, although she's not been at the photo shoot this morning. There we have Josh O'Connor there, blowing kisses to all of our viewers.